Hello YouTube, it's me, Maths and Science Help, and in this video we're going to cover the standard equation of a straight line. And this relates to linear algebra, and you're most likely in the 8th or 9th grade if you're interested in this. However, I'm not here to judge because more knowledge, reinforcing your knowledge is always for the best. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, this format right here, y equals mx plus c, can be used to represent any line or how to work out the points of any line that you'll ever cover in everything from, let's say, financial mathematics to actual astronomy, I guess. It's just a pattern. It's a pattern that emerges with lines. And lines are just consistencies, right? So I'm going to draw up a Cartesian plane. Whoops, I can do better than that. That's a bit better. My bad. You guys get the point. No pun intended. And right here we're going to have, let's say, 2 points. We have these 2 points. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. Let's say that's point 1. This is point 2, right? And this is a line segment for joining point 1 and 2. Now for this segment we can actually work out the corresponding y value for any for any point, given that we have the x value, and we can actually work backwards as well. If we have the y value and we know what m and c are, then we can find out the x value. Now, what do m and c stand for? Well, m is the gradient, which if you have never come across, means rise over run, which means how far it actually moves up. So how far the point moves. Let me just do that in a different color, so it's a bit easier. So how far up against how far down. So that's rise. I'm just gonna do ri. And then do this one RU. Rise over run can also be in the format of delta y over delta x, which delta, Greek letter delta, means change, which is the change in the y-axis over the change in the x-axis, which is used to find the m value or the gradient. Now what does c mean? C is the y-intercept, and what that means is, when does this line intercept the y-axis? So for which y value does this intercept the y-axis? Now let's just try to continue this line. I'll do that in white. Let me do that in white. Okay. And looks like, actually I'm just going to draw tiny segments just to indicate that I'm continuing the line. It actually looks like it hits the origin. And as we know, the origin of a Cartesian plane is at point 0, 0. So let me just write that down. 0, 0. Now I want you to ask yourself, what is the y value for this? Now, assuming that you've given it a go, if you said that's the second value right here, then you would be absolutely correct. Because we have to always remember, in mathematics it's x before y. Linear algebra, it's always x before y, even if we're talking about variable rates instead of consistencies. Now, if say there's a different line, I'll draw that in, let's do an orangish yellow just to mix things up here. Okay. Now at this point, what's y? Let's say that's y equals 4. Of course, this is not to scale, and my 4 looks very wonky, but I'm just going to ignore that. The c value for this line segment or line, if it continued, would actually be 4. And then we'd have to calculate the gradient by finding 2 corresponding points and then working out the rise over the run for those 2 points. And this can actually be with any 2 points on any line segment or line. It does not matter as long as you have at least 2 points, because 2 points define a line, as we all know. We should have learned in our earlier studies. And that's pretty much it for y equals mx plus c. And if you guys have more questions, make sure you comment them down below, and I might be making a new video about calculating gradient, but this was just a simple overview. And we can also rearrange this equation. Let me just end off with that. We can also rearrange this equation to get x by itself. So let's do y, subtract c by both sides. Y minus c equals mx. And this is not actually popular, like made popular in mathematics, but this is how you would rearrange the equation. Say you have the corresponding y value, m value, and c value. You'd have to work out x. This is a hypothetical situation. I'm teaching you guys how to work out the x value. So x equals y minus c over m. So I'm going to leave you guys with that, and make sure you guys like and subscribe. This is a new channel, but make sure you comment down below. I'll most likely respond and maybe create a video about your concerns. And actually, like, yeah, I'll try to explain each of these, say the m value and the c value in the actual equation in further depth in future videos. But until then, that's me signing out. See you guys. Have a good day or night wherever you are.